Hey guys, today I wanted to talk about whether to stick with the 600 or upgrade to a leader bike, a 1000cc super sport bike. My feelings is that a leader bike is overkill for the streets. I mean, a 600 will do 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, and at least my bike, the CBR 600RR, has a top speed of, I believe, like 177 miles per hour. I mean, really, how much more faster do you need to go on the streets? I mean, to me, a 600 is really kind of overkill for the streets. So I couldn't imagine why you would need a leader bike to do, that has a top speed, what is it, like 200 miles per hour? And it only has a 0 to 60 time in about like 2.7 seconds. So we're talking about not even a full second less than a 600 super sport bike. And also you have to factor in the insurance costs of, the additional insurance costs of getting a leader bike over a 600. It's almost, in some cases, it's almost double more than a 600cc bike. I'm only paying, what is it, $290 for full coverage with $250 deductibles on this 2008 CBR 600RR. If I get a leader bike, it's probably double that. It's probably like $600-700. And I know a lot of you guys are paying much more than that for your leader bikes, and in other states and countries. I think one guy lived out in Canada, said he was paying, I think, like over either $2,000 or $3,000 a year in insurance on his CBR 1000RR. And there's no way in hell I'd be paying $2,000 or $3,000 a year for insurance for a motorcycle. That's insane. That's like a bike payment right there for those of you that finance your motorcycle. But yeah, I don't see the benefit to getting a leader bike for the streets. Now on the track, that's a different story, because you can really open it up on the track and you don't have to worry about getting a ticket. But and also you have to factor in the fuel efficiency. I mean, it's even less. Well, I know a lot of you guys don't get a super sport bike. You could care less about fuel efficiency, but it's going to be a lot less, maybe a lot less, but it's going to be at least 5 to 10 miles per gallon difference between the 600 and 1000. But yeah, I don't even like. There's really not even a leader bike that really stands out in my mind that I would want to get. The CBR 1000RR, I really like that bike. It feels like a 600, but I don't like the front fairing. It's flat. I don't know what Honda was thinking when they designed the CBR 1000RR from 2008 and above. I don't know. The bike looks great everywhere else. Don't get me wrong. It's just the front fairing. And also, I hate the design of the 2013 CBR 600RR. I don't know what they were thinking when they designed that bike. I don't know. It looks like I don't know what it looks like, man. It looks like it. To me, my bike looks newer than the 2013 CBR 600RR. I don't like the lines on the bike. I do, however, it does look better with the Repsol edition. I think that's pretty cool. As far as the, you can't go wrong with the Repsol edition bike, but otherwise, I don't care for the bike. There's a lot of you guys that feel the same way. So to me, Honda needs to fire their design team, seriously. But they did do a pretty decent job. I don't know, on the CBR 500R, the new addition to the 2013 models. I don't know, to me it just looks like an early edition CBR 600RR, but I would definitely, if I were in the market for a small bike and I were a beginner or somebody just wanted to maybe downgrade to a smaller bike, the CBR 500R looks like a pretty cool bike to do it on. But and I like the Ninja 300. I think that's a good looking small bike. But like they say, once you go to a 600 and above bike, you're not going to want to go back to a 250 or a 300 or a smaller bike. I know some of you guys do, because some of you guys want to commute and you want the extra gas savings. But I can't see myself going back to a smaller bike. But yeah, there's not really a liter bike out there that really stands out. I mean, there's some good looking like foreign liter bikes, like the Aprilia RSV4. I think that is the hottest bike. But I hear it's horrible on the streets in this, for commuting. And I hear you should be a pretty experienced rider to ride that bike, even on the track. But I think that's a really good looking bike. I think the Ducati 1199 Panigale is a hot looking bike. But again, it's not a good bike to ride on the streets. And I don't care for the Gixxer 1000. I don't know, it looks too fat to me. I don't really care for it. So the R1, I think that's a cool looking bike, but I hear it's not that great in the city either. Really, liter bikes are really not meant for the city, or for the streets. Those bikes are meant for the track. If you want to, in my opinion, the CBR 600RR is the best super sport for the street. Really, it's really designed more, well, not necessarily designed more for the streets, but it has the street in mind more than the other super sports out there. Like I said, it has a fuel gauge, which I love the fuel gauge. I wouldn't want to have to go by a trip meter or wait till the low light indicator comes on. I mean, I like to tour on this bike, travel long distances on this bike. And I like to know exactly about how much gas I have left. And also it helps me hypermile, because I like to save gas on this bike as well. And the gas gauge helps me do that. And I believe that the CBR 600RR is the only 600cc super bike, or the only super bike that has a fuel gauge, from my understanding. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. I know maybe some of the older bikes have the, here's a prime example of coasting downhill. Man, I didn't know there was some sweet twisties this way. Wow. Cool. I don't really come this way in the park too often. So it's been a long time since I've been this way. This all looks unfamiliar to me. Okay, which way should I go? We'll go left. Hey guys, I don't know what the hell happened, but one of my bolts came out here off the mirror. I don't know how in the hell that happened. Maybe it didn't have a bolt in it and the other bolt loosened up, I guess. So I'm going to have to find another bolt. I have to call the dealerships and see if they have a spare bolt around or whatever. Thought that was pretty weird. Ah, man, I love this bike. I really do. It's got all the power I need.